what can I say? God made me great. I've been sleeping on myself, now it's time to wake. He put a table in front of me, so it's time to pray. I'm in the woke mood, trying to make moves, get a breakthrough. Folks do what they don't do, you better stay true. Go cool, Super Saiyan blue, crush your goals, put that vision in the motion, staying focused is the clue. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Doing It Major podcast. This is Vern Canas. I am at the Dim House, a new setup for you. I am chilling in the studio today with none other than my partner in crime, my brother from another mother, the man that's next. I hope you understand that's crystal clear. The dude that could teach you how to reach, none other than Neon Lock. What's going on, bro?
Bro, I'm good. I'm blessed. Can't complain.
You at the Dim House, bro?
Yeah, bro. I love the setup. I love the feeling. I feel like I'm in a special place.
Yeah.
I could be me, my space. I feel like I'm ready to freestyle and all. So I'm glad to be here.
Though, man, I said to myself, I cannot do the first episode without Neon. You know what I'm saying? Because Doing the Major started with us. So I felt like it's just fitting. It's only fitting that we kick things off. The first episode from the Doing the Major podcast is Vern Canas and Neon Lock. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate you taking the time out to be here, man. I know you got the wife at home, you got the kids and everything, and it's just been crazy busy for, you and even myself. So I really appreciate you coming out here at the Dim House and just talking about Doing It Major. Yeah, bro. What you been up to, man?
As you say, this is like a family season kind of.
Yeah.
But we're still creating some dope music, working on the craft, coming up with great ideas.
Dope.
How to bring out a message and by keeping it simple but still fun and unique ways.
Yeah.
To be creative and stuff like that. So
yeah. What you got going on for 2024? I knew you just dropped a song like 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I dropped 2 songs for the year. Rest. I just dropped Rest like 2 weeks ago, and I dropped what that song called again? Oh, Stick to the Code, my bro.
Stick to the Code.
Oh, bro, how can I forget that, bro? How can I forget that? Me and you, that
Stick to the Code.
And by the way, that song is popping, bro.
Yeah, it is.
Song
it's
is
doing
popping.
well.
It's doing well.
I haven't checked my Spotify in a bit, man. Stick to the Code.
Yeah, man.
That was fun. That was fun.
Dope. That was
we
dope.
We shot a few visuals at Mars Sim, their studio. Shout out to Mars Sim, by the way. Love you guys, man. Mari, Sumatra, much love, respect. Keep doing your thing. Keep doing the major, and stick to the code.
Yeah, man. That song is fire. That was some great energy, and I love how Mari set us up.
Yeah,
set us up
on the spot, pretty much.
Yeah, so I love it.
We went to do a photo shoot. Ended up doing a short video. That was dope.
It came out really dope.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Marsim.
I think a lot of people will probably appreciate us doing a music video for that.
But stick to the code.
Yeah. What you think?
Well, if they want us to do it, all you got to do is run the numbers up.
Run the numbers up.
And we'll invest in the music video and we'll do it. So
run the numbers up.
Let's get it.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about Doing a Major, bro. Reflecting on 2011. I think it was 2011. I was in Bible college, and God just spoke to me. And I woke up Saturday morning, it was 2011, and I just heard DIM in my spirit. Just DIM came to me, and I'm just like, DIM? And then right after was like, discipleship is mandatory, and when I got the vision, when I got the word, it was just like, I felt like it was going to be like a coin, A coin has heads, it has tails. So I felt like DIM was a coin, and one side was going to be discipleship is mandatory. And I couldn't figure out what the other side would have been until 2020, where I'm in my living room and I finally got the other side of DIM. Discipleship is mandatory is one side, and then Doing a Major is another side.
Hey, man, thank God for that revelation, man.
Thank God for Doing a Major, bro.
Yeah.
It was so crazy because I was just like, Doing a Major. I honestly didn't think that it would have been a vibe. I honestly did. I felt like it was too simple. Like, Doing a Major. Will people really run with that? And I meditated on it. got inspired with Colossians 3:23, and God was just like, "This is what I want this message to be. I want this brand to be." And Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do it unto God and not unto man." And I feel like whatever you do for God is something major.
Exactly. For me, when I was coming up at university, and that was a season when I really rededicated my life to God,
Yeah,
and really started to take God like really serious. And I'm saying like, okay, how can I serve the kingdom? God has blessed each and one of us with gifts and talents,
yeah,
and different things. And sometimes we just put them on the shelf,
right.
and don't feel like we have anything to offer to society. And that's what doing a major mean for me. Like,
Yeah.
whatever you have, do it to honor, use it to honor God. And it got some people in the Bible that played critical roles.
Yeah.
But it was a simple role.
Right.
You understand what I'm
It
saying?
was simple but still critical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what doing a major is. Like, imagine something so simple. Like, for example, the lady with the alabaster box. She
Yeah.
broke the box and she washed Jesus' feet. And
Yeah.
but Jesus said that wherever the story is told of his crucifixion,
Yeah.
you will always
Yeah.
mention
She would always be known.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so
To
simple.
this day, bro.
Yeah, and so I feel like that's what doing a major represents. Like, the simplest thing is great for the kingdom. That's why in one of my songs that we did, Pull Up,
Yeah.
when they said I'm famous in heaven, like,
Yeah.
that's what doing a major represent, man. Like, you
Right.
may not be famous on earth, but you're definitely famous in heaven. So
But that's awesome, man. And for me, it's like over time, I felt like God just started to reveal more and more to me. And I came up with a slogan. And the slogan was live with purpose, live with intention, and live to inspire.
That's dope.
Do it major.
That's dope.
I feel like a lot of people have no idea what their purpose is. And because they don't know what their purpose is, they don't live with purpose. So they just go with the wind. They follow every trend. They're easily influenced by their peers. They want to fit in because they lack purpose. And I don't know if like, for example, if a young man were to come to you right now, bro, and say, "Bro, I don't know what's my purpose." Like, what would you say? What do you have on purpose? Like, what is your take on purpose?
The thing is, I think for God to use you, you have to be humble.
Yeah.
And once you start to humble yourself, you'll be amazed what God could do with your life.
Right.
And I think, the Bible gives us so much instances where God just use what you have.
Yeah.
The 2 fish and 5 loaves.
Yeah.
When the prophet Elijah asked the lady what she has in
In her house, yeah.
and all she had was oil.
Yeah.
And God worked a miracle with that oil, and she was able to pay off her son debt. So once you humble, then God could show you what you actually have.
Yeah.
God could open doors and give you that revelation.
Mm-hmm.
This is your talent. This is your ability. I want you to serve in this area.
Right.
But you gotta be humble.
Yeah.
And once you be humble, I feel like God is gonna just put the right people in your path. Because when I think about doing the major and how we got to this point, man, God opened doors. We got the right people to make some music. We got the right people to do the visual. We got the right people to just help us go to that next level.
Yeah.
And you gotta say that's God.
It's God.
That's
It
God
is
writing
God,
the
bro.
chapters.
It is God, bro.
So we start out rapping in the clothes closet.
Yeah.
We go and go to music academy. So it's God. So as long as you humble, God will send the right people to help you.
Pretty much just like staying in your lane, like doing you, trying to honor God and everything. Yeah. When you mention that, to me, I see an imagery like of like a search to humble yourself enough to actually like open yourself to receive from God. Like, God, I am humbling myself because I am in need of purpose. Like, I want to know what's your plans for my life.
Right.
So when you talk about being humble, that's what comes to my mind.
Right.
Like somebody just taking it slow.
Pause,
Taking a pause, taking it slow. Like, God, speak to me. Tell me what's my purpose.
Right.
So a lot of people, man, they feel like they have it all together. and they run around here trying to do stuff, and really it's their own dreams, their own aspirations, their own goals, and some of those things are short-lived, and they really never take the time to pause and say, listen, I want God to really intervene in my life. I want God to show me the plan, like give me the game plan. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like in the context of church only. For family, for business, for life, like I want God to show me the game plan. So I'm with you 100%, man. Just in my mind, that's what I see when you say in order to pursue purpose or even be aware of your purpose. Like it starts with humility.
Yeah, you got to be humble. You got to be humble, because when you humble, you know, the Bible talks about God resisting the proud. You know, and once you get to that state of humility, God loves that.
Yeah.
And then that's when God could bless you.
Yeah.
And then that's when God could do his thing. You know. But if you're proud and arrogant, you know, God can't work with that.
Yeah.
You know,
God can't work with that. He can't work with it.
No, not at all. So there's a lot of things I learned, you know, when I started doing music, I was super excited, you know, and stuff for like business and other things like that. Super excited. And sometimes you watch your plans don't do well.
Yeah.
And not be successful. But then when you realize that you failed trying it your way, and then you say, okay, God, I tried it my way.
Yeah.
Let me trust you. Let's see what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
And then you realize like how God could really use you, and God's way is not your way.
Right.
You know, for example, sometimes I'm doing music and like, you know, it's not the best feedback that I want sometimes, but then I meet people and it was like, I heard your song, I see what you're doing, I support you, and I never expected that.
Yeah.
So you don't even know who's watching, you don't know the impact that you're leaving. But you gotta trust God that, you know, he's using you and you're obeying his will.
Right.
You know, and once you do that, that's what it's about. You know, that's what it's about. You know, pleasing God and leaving it as that. You know what I mean? So, you know.
That's dope. That's dope, man. So live with purpose. I feel like a lot of young men, a lot of young women, they're just going with the wind and they have no clear direction of what they would like to do with their lives. And I think that purpose goes hand in hand with intention. So live with purpose, live with intention, like be intentional about every single thing that you do, particularly who you involve yourself with. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, for example, like dating. I mean, if you're not dating to marry, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you got to find different people. Yeah. But the intention would be, I'm trying to find a person that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Yep.
You know, and we were young, man. You and I, we were young. We had different relationships. We talked to different girls and stuff like that. But even then, we weren't dating with intention. We were just having fun. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got a lot of people that's out here running around having fun, and they caught an STD on the way. Yeah.
Oh well, that's not funny, but I can't try you say that.
Right.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So,
but I think like how could we be more intentional with our lives? Like I feel like we need to craft a message to the next generation about being intentional. Like when you're in high school, you know, sit down, think about what you want to do with your life, and then have a game plan and just be intentional about every job, be intentional about, you know, every opportunity, positioning yourself to do a major. You know, just being intentional. The people that you talk to, the girls that you date, the boys that you date, you know, wherever you go, where you're going to go to school in terms of studying and all that stuff. That's like being intentional, like doing things strategically.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think, you know, when you come to Christ and, you know, you surrender your life, you realize that, you know, you let go of your old ways and you adopt God ways. And God is an intentional God. Everything is intentional.
He is.
And going back to your point, you know, I think a lot of people, you know, I think they need love, and that love is not much about what you say, but what you do and how you go about it. I feel like as Christians we gotta be that light. We gotta be that role model that show love to people. Because we come with a hard truth.
Yeah.
And if we don't show love first, they will never accept that hard truth,
Right.
that hard reality.
Right.
And the thing is that a lot of people don't understand. People just see and hear the message that you're bringing.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of Christians bust their face and their foot so many
Yeah.
times, like Jonah.
Yeah.
Like Jonah had to end up in the belly of a whale
Yeah.
to get the point, bro.
Right.
And I'm one
Right.
of those Christians, bro. Like I had to get boxed up, beat up, slapped, body slammed by life,
Right.
to finally get the point. Like,
Right.
yo, what am I doing, bro?
Man, there's
like, what am I doing?
so many of us, bro.
So
And I kind of feel like that happens when we don't really consider, our decision-making process in terms of like being intentional. I understand that God will save people from their sin, but he won't save them from the ramifications.
right, definitely.
So you could be the worst, do the worst, say the worst, hurt multiple people,
Right.
and there's restoration for that on both sides. But nevertheless, feelings still got hurt.
Yeah.
Decisions were still made, lives were still impacted. So I think being intentional is a character trait that a lot of people tend to forget. As you said earlier, like God is an intentional God. Like every job situation that we've had, every friendship, every encounter, every place that we've traveled, like God used certain things to shape your character.
Definitely.
God used different scenarios to teach you a lesson.
Yep.
Because he's an intentional God. And I feel like we ought to be that same way, in whatever we're doing.
Yeah, we have to be intentional because legacy is on the line. Legacy is on the line. Like we got no time to waste.
Right.
Being a dad and being a husband. Every move, every dollar that I spend is intentional. You gotta be intentional about everything, bro.
Yeah.
Because time is precious. And what you allow your children to watch. How you go about everything has to be intentional, because you don't know what scars are, what mishaps could happen by being quote unquote naive,
Right.
Just being too relaxed,
Right.
So that intentional mindset is really, really important, but once you know God ways, and once you understand truth and you really trust God, life become a breeze, bro. Life become a breeze because God does not fail. He doesn't. He stand on business. Like he sticks to the code.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. He stick to the code.
Come on.
So once you taste and see that God is good, you're gonna realize like, how easy life is. And let me give you a quick example. When I first came up with school, for those who don't know, I have a business degree.
Talk about
in concentration in entrepreneurship.
Talk about it, sir. Tell them.
So when I
qualified out here.
when I first finished school, I didn't get you with any jobs I was trying to do. And I was working in security for a minute, actually a couple years.
I remember those times.
So I was like, I'm gonna be here for a short time.
I remember those I prayed seasons. Yeah.
So that's that season where I prayed, because I was going through it, bro. But I was recently married as well. Yeah. I was recently married. And I came into marriage with that mindset, everything's on me. I'm the big dog. I'm gonna provide for my wife. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And I feel like God, I don't know if he willfully leave me stay in that position for a long time. Yeah. But that he humbled me so much, bro. I had tears coming to my eyes. I was like, nah, bro, this is not how I script things, bro. This is not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
But in that season, God humbled me so much, and I had to rely on him. I had to remind God of his promises. I had to seek him. I had to trust him. And God did a work in me in that season. Yeah. God did a work in me that I literally, like, even if my bank account empty, bro, I don't even stress because of that season.
Right.
Because of what I went through in that season, how much I rely on God.
Lessons you learned.
And the lessons I learned. Like, I just know God shall supply all my needs, bro.
Yeah.
according to his riches in heaven. So I don't know, like everything is gonna be fine.
Right.
So sometimes if you don't go through that season, sometimes if God don't humble you, even though you're a Christian, you still got your own agenda.
Yeah.
You got your own mindset. So be grateful when God discipline you. God talks about He disciplined the proud.
Right.
So I guess I was being disciplined. But I mean, like going forward for the rest of my life, I am glad I got that lesson early. Because now I just trust God. I just pray and I leave it there.
Yeah.
And my blood pressure is fine and everything is good because I really have that faith.
Right.
I have that confidence and that trust in God. Look,
Right.
everything is gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be good. So sometimes you go through things and sometimes you don't understand what's going on in life, but understand that, God doesn't waste a battle.
Right.
God doesn't waste a battle. And everything that you're going through for a reason.
That's right.
And God's gonna teach you a lesson that you're gonna be so grateful for, that is more valuable than gold. You know what I mean?
100%, man. I just, as you was talking, bro, like Matthew 6 came to mind, Matthew 6:33. So I'm just trying to pull it up real quick. And it says, seek first the kingdom of God and all else and live righteously, and He will give you everything that you need above all else, and live righteously. So seek first the kingdom of God above all else and live righteously, and He will give you everything that you need. So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today.
Yep.
Like today's trouble is enough for today.
Yep.
And the revelation of this verse hit me when I was in Bible college, bro, because I remember walking up Dorchester, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm walking up, I'm going back on campus, and I don't have school supplies. I don't have certain things for school. And the campus pastor came up to me and he was just like, Dan Roy, here, I got something for you. And I think he put like $100 or $150 in my hand.
That's God.
And in that moment, this scripture came to me. And it was during Bible college, bro. Like, that's when I felt like this scripture came alive. Because semester after semester, season after season, year after year, for 4 years, God took care of me, bro. So know that I'm married. There's bills that's due, and that we got stuff to take care of. The car needs this and all of that. But for me, it's like, I ain't got no worries.
Yep.
And that's how that song was inspired. My Reverb Nation days. Remember that song, No Worries?
Yeah, man.
That's when that song came alive to me, bro, because I feel like anxiety is killing a lot of people in 2024, bro.
Yep.
The world is spinning out of control, and people, the inflation is just taking over. The cost of living is high, especially here in Anguilla. People are working 2 to 3 jobs and still can't survive, and anxiety is just, people having panic attacks, and Christian people, people in general, are just not trusting God. Like He got you.
Yeah, and that remind me of my song that I just recently dropped, called Rest.
Yeah.
I didn't really it was a song to just vent.
Yeah.
It's
we all need those songs.
Yeah, it was one of those songs that you just need a vent.
Yeah,
release.
just pour it out. One of those altar call songs,
Yeah, bro, I'm not chasing in 2024. I'm at a place of peace, and I understand that God got us, man.
Yeah.
Like, God got us,
Yeah.
and it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to believe it.
Yeah.
It's another thing to remind yourself that. And sometimes Christians could get anxious because we say that we trust in God. We say that, we believe in God, but we don't want to let go of the wheel.
Right.
We want to hold on to that wheel as long as possible.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you do that, you find yourself experiencing a level of depression and anxiousness.
Right.
And it's an ongoing battle. But sometimes you got to remind yourself, that God got us.
Yeah.
God is not slack concerning His promises.
Right.
So sometimes, as you say, sometimes we gotta just, take a step back, and understand the same God that met your needs in college.
Right.
Is the same God that's with us
Correct.
today.
Correct.
And the enemy likes to play those mind games and make
he
you
does,
feel
man, he does.
he's not there, but
Right.
God don't take no L's, bro. God
No,
don't. God
I
don't
like
take no
that, man.
L's.
God doesn't take any L's.
So I mean, I think sometimes when we go through these hard things, these hard lessons,
Mm-hmm.
it's just to learn that God is with us. I mean, I feel like God allowed Job to go through those things
Yeah.
for me when I read that Bible to understand like God was with Job the whole time, even
Mm-hmm.
though he didn't, even didn't feel so,
Yeah.
but God knew what he was about to do. God knew that he had a double blessing waiting for Job,
Right.
So, you know, every person in the Bible, that go through persecution, there was a reason for it.
But
Even Stephen,
yeah.
Stephen went out, but that was to put something in power.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So God doesn't waste anything.
Yeah. And that goes back to him being intentional.
Being intentional.
Yeah.
So, sometimes like, you maybe feel like you're going through that, you're going through a season, I'm waiting for that season of this abundance.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that season where you're not, you're not trying to jug up the hill, jugga, jugga, jugga,
Yeah.
jugga, jugga.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, we learn to wait on the Lord, and in the meantime, we learn to give God thanks.
100%, man. Like I feel like it's so important to keep going. Like shout out to Gavin. I was blessed to be around him quite often back in 2018. And one of the things that he would always tell me is keep going, and that has kind of been like my mantra, like for myself. And even when I see other people out there that's doing a major, like especially young people that decided to, hone their skills, develop their skills and monetize their skill and just be different, like live different, I just tell them keep going. And I know life throws some uppercuts and some hard punches, but you always want to be in the state of up or getting up,
Yep.
but never down. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You just got to keep going. And for me, bro, I kind of get emotional every time I think about it because doing a major was just a thought. And, we formed a group. We did a couple songs. Our music started to take off. We started to get connected to different people. And I've been telling you about a clothing brand and all that type of stuff. I've been telling you about different things. And it wasn't happening as fast as I thought it would happen. But I just kept going, and now, like we sitting in the dim house and we recording content, we touching and changing lives. And I'm saying, so I don't care what you're going through. If you're listening to this podcast right now, if you're watching us on YouTube, whatever you're going through, I know life is real, life is hard, but you just got to keep going. You just got to keep grinding, keep building. Like God is intentional, and every step that you have taken and every roadblock you have overcome, God is an intentional God. You're going to begin to see like him just lining everything up. Yeah. And I'm sure, bro, like I think about it now, like that one time when we started, we was about to start the Blowing Point Ferry Terminal and you were always talking about how frustrated you were working security and this and that, and I felt the cry of your heart, bro. Especially when you drop that especially when you drop that song, like I Pray. But for me, it was just like, okay, the company needs an extra hand. And I was just like, I'm gonna tell Neon about this job. Told you about the job, you got the job, and I'm pretty sure like you good. And for me, it's like, just keep going, bro. And you started to see how everything just kind of lined up, even in your life. And even though things, you're not seeing the abundance, even though things is not abundant as you would like it to be, you still seeing the goodness of God, bro.
Yeah, God is faithful. As I say, when you're going through that season, you're going through that season for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's to prepare you for the next season. You know what I mean? So sometimes you don't understand, like, God, for example, with Joseph, that's, a story that everybody a story that everybody knows about.
Yep.
Joseph had to wait in prison until Egypt had a famine.
Yeah.
That's a bar. That's a bar, bro. That's a bar, bro.
You should write that down, bro.
Sorry about that, bro. But that's a bar. That's a bar.
You should write that down, man.
So going back to what I was saying, sometimes you're going through stuff. Because that season where God is wanting to use you, it hasn't happened as yet. So when I think about things that happened in the past for me, I feel like I had to just wait,
right?
Because God is about to open a door,
right?
And when God opened that door, nobody could shut it. So, as you said, we just gotta keep going, and as you keep going, keep trusting in God, And once you do those two things, you're gonna understand how faithful God is. I always say, I'm writing another song, and I said, they talking six figures, I'm talking God favor, because when I ain't worrying about no 6 figures or 7 figures or 8 figures or how much figures. As long as I have God favor, I'm gonna be all right. God gonna put me before whoever He want me to be put before. And He's gonna bless my family. He's gonna take care of me. So I've seen the faithfulness of God. That's why I'm not scared to be bold about God, because God is real to me. And that's what doing the major mean. When I encounter God in a real way, and I encounter Him in such a personal way, I was like, no, bro, I gotta find a way that God could use me, that I could be impactful. So I can't be one of those Christians that just play it safe. You know what I mean? I gotta be one of those Christians that I'm loving. I'm kind. I'm soft spoken. I'm not overly aggressive with people.
Right.
But at the same time, bold. Bold and courageous with my faith. And God will use you. God will use you. So you just gotta open up yourself to God, and God would have His way. But you gotta keep going. Because when God starts to use you, it sometimes don't feel like you've seen what God is doing.
Right.
But as you keep going, you're gonna understand why. Because we wouldn't be sitting here having these type of conversations if we didn't keep going. Because
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you something that Vern probably wouldn't said in this podcast, but we took a lot of L's financially doing music. So when we talk about
my word, bro, don't even talk about it.
We took a lot of L's, of L's, but we believe in what we was doing, and we believe that God was using us. So those L's is wins, bro. Those L's is wins, but God is using us, bro. So as you said, we just got to keep going.
Yeah, just keep going. Just keep going, guys. Just live with purpose, live with intention, and then live to inspire.
Definitely.
I feel like for you and I, that's what it was, because we love music, bro, and we love how God speaks to us with the music, the lyrics that He gives us to write, and then know that it's at a certain quality and it's going out there for the world, and you're seeing, thousands of streams, people streaming the songs, and people hitting you up on Instagram like, yo, I love your song. People reaching out to you, people reaching out to me, other people here locally saying, I love your song and all that type of stuff. Like, for us, we're inspiring people.
Definitely.
And I think that is noble. I think that humans should live to inspire. And I mean, everything that we have, that we use on a regular basis, we're technically kind of inspired by it.
Definitely.
We wear Nike because we're inspired by, the brand and what it represents and what it means. So for us, I'm praying that God would help us to continue to rep the brand, and that other people would,
hop on
the wave, tap in and just live with purpose, live with intention, and live to inspire. I want that when other young men see us on a music video, or even watch our podcast, or see us out there loving our wives, raising our kids, they're inspired by that, because I feel like society is kind of lacking that inspiration today.
Definitely. And that's what it means to be a Christian.
Yeah.
That's what it means to be a Christian. Like, don't be scared to be an outcast.
Right.
Don't be scared to be the honest one that's not partying, sleeping around with multiple women and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do it different, because when they see you not having no baby mama drama and seeing your children grow and grow respectful and God opening doors and providing and stuff like that, then they would say, man, the God that he serves is real.
Right.
And that's what God is saying, shine your light before men.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see that you were shining your light, they will glorify the Father in heaven.
Right.
So don't be scared.
No.
Don't be scared to be different. That's what doing a major brand is about. Not being scared to represent God in whatever you do.
Right.
Whatever you do, don't be scared.
And Jesus, he was an inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, Jesus inspired so many people, and he's still inspiring people.
Exactly.
Crowds follow Jesus. And I feel like you could always tell when Jesus is present in a thing because it attracts.
Mm-hmm.
It attracts. And I feel like when a message is a Christ-centered message, when a ministry, a family, a business is Christ-centered, and they're doing everything to honor God and live noble and live righteous and just be a good citizen, it attracts.
Definitely.
Because
Definitely.
Jesus, he just attracted so many people. And that's what it's about, like living your life in a way where you could just inspire others. And the Bible talks about Jesus. It says, never a man spoke the way this man spoke. He looked like all of them. He had the same robes as them. He wore the same sandals as them, but he spoke differently.
Yeah. And as you're saying that, going back to the point I was telling you earlier about Christians having love.
Right.
Because I think the reason why Jesus is so inspirational is because in everything you do, you gotta see and feel.
Yep, the love.
The love.
Exactly.
And as a Christian, it's so important to love everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you may not agree with everything.
Right.
Just love.
Right.
And once you love everybody and they see how you live, then they're gonna want to hear your message.
Mm-hmm.
And as you were saying that Christ inspired everything, like, all of our music, is based on scripture.
Yeah.
Those songs came from devotion.
Right.
Having, spending time with God, and as you were reading about Matthew 6, I remember my song Zone, when they say Matthew 6 really quick.
Right.
It talks about God, supplying all our needs and stuff like that.
One of my favorite songs, by the way. I like it.
So when you honor God, God will honor you. That's a fact. And I think, going forward, what we just want to do is honor God the best that we can.
Yeah.
We are the Hebrew boys, we are the outcasts in society that, ain't scared to go before the king.
Right.
That's our mindset that we have, by the same time, we loving people, and we being gentle and gracious to people. And we want to be that light in society.
Right.
I want people to feel like they can approach me and have a one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
And we could talk truth.
Right.
Because sometimes people are honestly going through some,
and they just need a conversation, right? Yeah, they just need an ear.
Yeah, some people are just going through some deep stuff, and it's gonna take a minute for them to get that healing,
right?
And to experience God. It may not happen, overnight, but God is still able.
Yeah,
God is still able. So, it's just showing that love,
right?
Being approachable. I feel like God said, they will know that you are my disciples when you have love.
Exactly.
And you have that personality. Like, I'm gonna love you till the day I die, and nothing gonna change that, bro. I feel like we can pack the world, bro.
I think that's powerful, because the more you are able to love somebody, I feel like the more authentic you are.
Exactly.
And that's what the world is lacking today.
Yep.
Like, people are not their authentic selves.
Right.
And when you could do something special, do something good for someone, when you could look out for someone, go out of your way to help somebody else just because you love them, the world is lacking that terribly today, bro. Like, everybody's expecting something in return. You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to help you out, you tell me thank you, but then at the same time, you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if Vernon is gonna ask me to do something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But people, they just have not been able to experience acts of genuine kindness and love in the world today. Like, that's just lacking. And the Bible talks about that. The love of man will wax cold.
Yep.
But when you can love somebody just for loving them sake, man, you are your authentic self, and authenticity could do wonders for you when you ain't got no ulterior motive. You ain't got no bad mind. You know, you're not doing something to get something back in return, but you're just doing it out of the goodness of your heart. I remember when I had a lot of different experiences in Bible college. I was on my way to Kansas. I think it was Kansas from Ohio. And I stopped in a gas station and I got some coffee. It's like probably like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that. We were on the highway. We heading to Kansas. I spilled some coffee on the table, some creamer and stuff on the table. And I wipe it up, right? I wiped it up. And the cashier, the guy behind the counter, he's looking at me. He goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" I'm like, "Nope." He's just like, "I know, because people around here don't do that."
Yeah.
Something so simple, bro. Like, you know, I think it's Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. I think that's what it says. It says, "Do unto others as you would have them do unto you."
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want somebody coming in my store, my gas station, helping themselves with a cup of coffee, make a mess and not clean it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People are not their authentic selves in this day and age. And I feel like as long as we stay close to God, bro, and have his love in our lives so that we could love other people, because as John 4 says, God is love. You can't love other people if you don't have the love of God, you know. As long as we continue to love people, we're going to be our authentic selves. And, man, that's going to open doors for you, because in a world where there's so much fakeness, there's fake everything. You know, we living in a bootleg world, bro.
Yep.
Like, fake. There's just fake everything. Like, almost like nobody's genuine today.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was just like, you know, one of the reasons why, you know, we see a lot of young people going astray is because nobody really, and, you know, I'm guilty of it as well. You know, we so busy. Nobody is willing to play that big brother role anymore.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, you know, we had a lot of people that played that big brother role.
Right.
You know, that will pull you aside and ask you, you know, everything good.
Yeah. Accountability.
Know. Yeah. And we don't have that as much as before. So it's like, you know, a lot of people just raising themselves.
Yeah, man.
You know, and it's like, you know, that you in the middle of the ocean, you're just trying to swim.
Yeah.
You know, but when I was growing up, you know, we had a lot of people that pull you to the side and say, you know, let me talk to you, you know, and let me give you a little wisdom. Right. You know, and I'm grateful, you know, you're one of those people as well.
Appreciate you, sir.
So you know, having those people pull you aside and say, bro, like, trust me, I know you're excited, I know you're having fun, but yeah, I did that already. and I know what that's gonna lead to, bro. Trust me, they fooling you, bro. Like, it ain't that.
Accountability, man. Yeah, that's what it is.
So
I think that it's necessary. You know, you mentioned kids, teenagers, you know, raising themselves, and I feel like people lack accountability. Like, the message, the need for accountability is just absent, because back when we were growing up, when we were younger, you know, as you said, we kept each other accountable. Like, we kind of ask some hard questions. Yeah. You know, shout out to Pastor Gleason Brooks.
Yeah, bro. He's number one, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. He kept us accountable. Yeah. We would have youth meeting. Yeah. You know, there were times we would go out, sit around the campfire, you know, talk girls and talk stuff.
All kind of different stuff.
You know, but at the end of the day, after we laughed and talk about what we like in a woman and all these different things,
it was serious stuff.
Like, are you good? Like, how is your walk with Christ?
Yeah.
You know?
So, you know.
That accountability factor is missing. And I really try to get that in with you know, people that I come in contact with, especially people younger than me, you know.
Yeah.
And I would spontaneously do that to you sometimes. Like, bro, how's your marriage? You know, a simple question like, how's your marriage? Because I know how it is for a married man.
Yeah.
A married man that loves God, that wants to honor his family and stay faithful to his wife. Bro, how's your marriage?
Bro, like, listen, bro. Like, I feel sometimes like the forces of hell literally got a picture of my, like a picture of me. And it's like, oh, hey.
Let's pick on them today.
So they got plan A, plan B, plan C, and they got all these ways to execute, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But, you know, as I said, God is faithful. So, you know, I talk about that in my
song
in my last album too.
Crystal Clear. Yeah.
You know, God is, you know, and you talk about it in restoration as well.
Yeah.
You know, that, you know, God restores, bro. So even if the enemy try to creep up, you know, God, you know, he will fix that and God will handle that. You know, so, you know, even being married and stuff like that, the challenges that comes with that, you know, as long as you know, say no to self, and, you know, you say yes to God, God is going to make a way. And, you know, you could see and you could smell when the enemy trying to do something. But as I said, you know, God is faithful. You know, God is not going to allow the enemy to wreak havoc, you know, in your life. I want to go back to a point.
Yeah.
We're talking about the big brother role and stuff like that.
Right.
You know, that is so critical. You know, that is so important because I honestly, with all my heart, you know, even though God, I had a Damascus moment in university with God, where God revealed a lot of things to me personally.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped me to make that firm commitment to God.
Right.
But at the same time, a lot of foundational work had already been established, and a lot of that has been because of the big brother role.
Yeah.
You know, and having people to pull you aside,
right,
and say, yo, you know, I just want to talk to you.
Yep.
You know, if you're going through something, let me know.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, when the Bible talk about iron sharpening iron, you know, and just, you know, holding each other to that level of accountability, you know, that's what we need. We need to get back to that place so that we could, you know, have these, you know, even this, you know, having these conversations, you know, and be open with people, and you know, just encourage them to keep trusting God, keep going, because I honestly don't feel that my life would have turned out the way it is if God didn't send someone to talk to me on a deep level, not just a surface level of, you know, John 3:16, and like like a deep level, like, bro, you got hormones. I understand what you're going through.
Exactly.
But
are you touching yourself?
Yeah, bro. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like you
just
need
real and honest. You know,
you need real people to come and tell you, like, bro, let me give you some game.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember when I got married young. You know, and I remember when I had a conversation with you, you know, talking about marriage and stuff like that. You're like, you know, God just send the right people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I felt like God was telling me to do the right thing.
Right.
You know, and if I didn't have people to, like, tell me, like, bro, you know, if you feel like God is calling you and you feel like you're ready to take the step, go ahead. If I had someone to tell me, like, bro, you feeling her? No, but you know what I mean? If I had one of those guys, bro, I don't think I'll be married. If that was like, you know, and that's going back to being intentional.
Right.
You know, when God changed your heart, he puts the right people,
correct,
you know, at the right time to speak into your spirit, right,
steer you.
And so, and I feel like that's what we need. You know, that's what society needs. Society needs that voice, someone to come in and say, bro, like, if you want me to, I'm here.
Yeah, I
will give you some advice.
Yeah.
I could tell you, like, I could teach you how to reach. Like, you know what I mean? Like we being there, we don't know what it is. You know, the devil is the same old. Nothing really changed, but somehow we fall for it all the time.
Yeah.
And, you know, once we got that big brother role, you know, I feel like a lot of people would be better.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just trying to take on sin by themselves and stuff like that. So.
Right. 100%, man. And I feel like that's a vision that God inspired me with in terms of doing a major and even starting and doing a major podcast, because sooner or later, bro, we're not going to exist anymore. And I feel like if we play our cards right and stay close to the Almighty, and He continues to inspire these conversations, generations to come, people could log in on YouTube doing a major podcast and have some type of wisdom, some type of encouragement, some type of light, to steer and navigate them on a right path, Definitely. Put their mind in the right frame, because it's all about values at the end of the day. Like you and I, we have values that, the church instilled in us. You and I, we have values that our parents instilled in us. Definitely. And we about to raise our kids with those same values. But there are young people out there, bro, that they never really had no values to begin with. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's just like being intentional about preserving these values. Yeah. So that people could hop on, log in, peep the content, get value, and learn how to live with purpose, live with intention, and live to inspire.
Definitely. And as I said, these values that God shows us and teach us, these values are wealth. Yeah. These is when God said, buy gold from me, and he talk about true riches. This is what he's talking about. Right. Having that everlasting life, being blessed on earth, experiencing heaven on earth. And, and it goes back to, really trusting God and different things like that. And, and, I really want to inspire my kids and whoever listens, because at the end of the day, as you said, we're not going to be here all the time. Yeah. We're not going to be here all the time. But, if we could use the resources that God gave us, we could be impactful. Right. And as I said, sometimes, we don't know the mark or the legacy that we are leaving, but God is still working. Yeah. And that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you for hopping on the podcast, man.
No problem, bro. I got you.
Appreciate you so much. So you just listened to the first episode of the Doing a Major podcast. We are in the Dim House. I am Vern Canas, and this is my man, my boy, my homie, my friend,
Neon
Lock. And we are signing out. You can catch us on the next one. If you like this video, if you like the content, click subscribe, ring that bell.
Yeah, just tap in, bro.
Just tap in. Just tap in,
bro.
See you on the next one.
So I had to take you from you because you don't want it. I'm gassed up on ambition, feeling so atomic.